The most enlightened financial professionals have mastered the art of threading the needle in terms of enhancing their persuasive impact, but without selling somebody, without trying to convince somebody to do something. This is the essence of stewardship rather than salesmanship. They attract, they don't chase. And they understand how to engineer an environment and individual encounters where their value is bought, not sold. Think of when you get introduced to a prospective client and you meet that prospective client for the very first time. They're coming to this meeting with a combination of anticipation and apprehension. Anticipation for what the potential of this relationship could become, and apprehension, fear of being sold. The dynamic between caveat emptor and caveat vendita. You have to remove that mystery. You're trying to activate professional contrast immediately as you interact with the prospective client and trying to future pace to set expectations for how this could unfold and how it would align with their expectations. Your goal is not to close somebody. Your goal is to, again, validate. You know that anybody introduced to you is at some point going to have a conversation with the person who made the introduction. Ensure that that person goes back to the rainmaker and says, "You're right. Thank you for introducing me to your advisor." Validate, activate professional contrast. The moment they interact with you, their frame of reference, their existing advisor that they're thinking about leaving, anybody else that they're vetting, as soon as they realize it's not even close, it propels them to this higher degree of self-motivation. They are predisposed. And how you start a relationship is going to have so much impact on how it's going to unfold. Their ability to quickly become an advocate has been amplified because they just experienced what it looked like to interact with you. The ultimate KPI is when you meet with a prospective client and halfway through the meeting, they interrupt you and they say, "Look, I've heard enough. Everything I've heard about you is bang on. I'm done with my current advisor. Just would you take me on? Would you accept me as a client?" They're not being sold. They're trying to sell you. And I'm sure that's happened before. Let's create this on a consistent basis. And let's fast track these people to advocate status, because again, they can set expectations for people they meet, especially when it's so fresh. And then go back and remind your existing long-term clients that you will make yourself available to be a sounding board. And remind them, anybody you introduce to me does not need to become a client. I'm not going to try to convince them to become a client. This is a value-added service we hope you and they find to be of value. If they want to become a client, that's a separate conversation. There's no expectation that needs to happen. We're led by them. The moment your sphere of clients, strategic partners, and prospective clients understand that when they interact with you, there's always an agenda, a printed agenda in terms of what's going to get done, and there's no hidden agenda. This will never be a sales encounter. When that happens, your persuasive impact soars, your referability soars. You start to systematically eliminate friction and unspoken resistance and objections. You create this environment where interests align. It's a better long-term relationship. The likelihood that they will empower you fully as their life unfolds, the likelihood that they will be insulated by other competitive factors and external forces, and the likelihood they'll come to a realization that they're doing a friend or a family member a disservice by not introducing them to you, that's next level. So thread that needle. Master the art and science of persuasive impact by removing any concept of trying to convince somebody to do anything. You're not pitching anything. You're positioning everything as being part of your process and part of your decorum and part of your overarching approach. Just a gentle reminder.